So the first question I've got is about SEO, which is search engine optimization. The question was, what is SEO and do I need it? So, as I said, SEO is search engine optimization, and it is how you show up on the internet. So yes, you do need to have a think about it and understand it and do what you can to improve or have a good SEO. So I'm going to talk mostly about Google. It is how you show up on the internet in search engines, full stop. But I'm going to talk about Google because Google's obviously the biggest one and the one that most people use. So what happens is Google has what it calls spiders, and the spiders go out and search the internet for information that's relevant to your business, bring back all of those results, and then Google uses those results to then reference how you're going to show up in the search results. So what kind of things you're going to show up for, and what information is going to be displayed as a result. And there's a few things that you can do that's really, really simple. So I thought I'd give you a few little tips and tricks so that you can see whether you do it already or whether you could improve on your SEO. So the first one is Google itself. So Google My Business is effectively you putting information into Google and saying, this is the information about my business. If you haven't got a Google My Business account, then you need to go and set one up, and you need to put your information in. So this, I'm going to give you examples from Refresh Minds My Business. This is my Google My Business account. Let me move my head. And then down this side here, you've got information. This is also how you appear on Google Maps as well. So you put your information in here. And the one thing that is really important that I tell you at this point is about NAP, which is name, address and phone number. So one of the things that Google uses is those things, the name, address and phone number. And if it's different in any way, it presumes that you're a different business. So make sure that whatever information you put in Google My Business is exactly the same as whatever information you put elsewhere in terms of any references to your name, your address or your phone number. So for this, for example, I put terrace rather than TR. So I always put terrace, I don't ever put TR. And it might be the same if you've got street or road. If in Google you put RD for road, then everywhere else put RD for road, for example. Equally, your telephone number, if you put 5 digits as your code and then the rest, a space and then the rest, then you want the spacing to be the right in all of the places that you put it. So just decide what you're going to do and then keep it the same throughout to make sure your name, address and phone number are all the same. The next thing about SEO is your website, because your website is a great opportunity to put your information, and obviously it's one of the things that's going to show up the most in searches. So my website is a WordPress site, so this example is from a WordPress example, but you might have Wix or Squarespace or Weebly or something like that. In the back end of your website, in the settings, there will be options for SEO. It just depends on what settings there are, depends on what system that you use. So for me, what I do is I have a plugin which is called Yoast on my website. That's how you spell it at the top there, and this gives me general features in terms of helping me to maximise the potential of my SEO. The biggest thing that it does is on the pages of my website, if I go to a home page for example, it pops up underneath here a Yoast section. It gives you some smiley faces to say whether you're doing well or not. You use a key phrase, so in here you can use, this is my home page, so I'm going to use my business name. You can decide how it's going to show up in Google in terms of mobile and desktop. You can also look at this bit, which will tell you some of the things that you could improve and some of the things that are really good about your particular home page. So that is where you would go to get an idea. There's also a social tab, and this here is where you can put what is going to show up on Facebook and what's going to show up on Twitter. So you can say this title, this description, this picture, and that's the information that it would then drag through if you were going to post something on Facebook. So make sure that you've got your SEO settings in your website set up. I want to show you something on my Refreshed Mind site. The other thing that you want to look at is keywords. Now, the reason that you look at keywords is because part of the Google algorithm is all about how much of an authority your website is in a given area. So keywords are really important for that, because it's what people are going to type into Google. So here you can see from my website, it works in hierarchy as well. So you have what they call a H1 and a H2, which is heading 1, heading 2, and you've also got your kind of categories up here and things like that. So the higher up your menus and the higher up your settings with your headings, those keywords have greater clout than if it is, say, just in paragraph text. But they all count, and this is one of the reasons why blogging has become popular, is because blogging gives you an opportunity to tell Google that the website is regularly updated, which is another good point, and also that the website gives you an opportunity to say the words, those kind of keywords, over and over. So here, for example, I've got anxiety, chronic pain and stress illnesses right here at the heading, and in my menus I use keywords. So I could just put chronic pain here, but I could put chronic pain solutions because that's a better keyword. It's more likely that people are going to type that into their Google search. Equally, as you go down on your pages, look for opportunities again, same keyword again, and put in the kinds of things that I work with, so that then it's more likely that Google's going to understand what my website's about and show me up in the relevant searches. Another little sneaky tip is in my footer at the bottom, I've just created a little paragraph that's packed full of those same keywords again, so that then it's another opportunity to get those across and for Google to pick those up. So have a look at your website and see where you can kind of just tweak it. With your website, you are catering for two different audiences. So the first audience is people, i.e. your clients, the people reading your website, and the second audience is the robots, is the spiders that trawl your website. Now, if you created a website that was purely SEO maxed out to the top, it's likely to be very bad for your human readers and difficult to read. And equally, if you just purely created a website that's just purely for the readers, then it's probably not going to rank high in terms of SEO. So it's about just doing things to make sure that you balance those two things together. So I hope that's given you a few ideas in terms of SEO and what it means and certain things that you can do.